So I actually started booking the show, and then I started thinking maybe I should just book on camera, mix things up. So with that being said, we are back with another episode of the Invasion. As the Invasion continues, and like I mentioned at Backlash, the show is about to get interesting. As things are finally going to start picking up in the Invasion, as we start moving forward, with things, and I give you my word, you will start seeing people show up. You will start seeing people show up that you may not have noticed before. And in that, the person that will be showing up is actually right here, but I will be discussing it later in the show when I'm going through the show for the second time. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to check. The next pay-per-view is Backlash. Judgment Day. I apologize. Judgment Day. And as you can tell, I have two matches set. I think I may be changing the matches off camera, but either way, this is what you're gonna see at Judgment Day. And then for the King of the Ring, we got that. Around the King of the Ring will be when things in the Invasion start building up a little bit more, because, well, basically I'm trying to book it the right way and not the WWE way. So with that being the case, I also want to book this match tonight. That being, I actually don't know why they're not a tag team. So give me 1 second. I honestly don't know why. Because they're gonna stay a stable for right now, because we're still at the tail. What? This says that they're a tag team. I don't see them. Inactive. Supplying. That's because they were a tag team already. Let me just change their name. Right to censor. Okay, so now we keep going with our friends at the Right to Censor. I do know that the feud with Jerry Lawler and the Cat basically killed the Right to Censor in real life, but I disagree with that. I don't agree, or common knowledge is things didn't go well for Right to Censor following the feud with but I just changed their names. What the hell? Okay, screw you. Give me 1 second. Right to Censor. Who? What the fuck is going on? Whatever. Who cares? The name is Supply and Demand. It's a stupid name, but who cares? The Dudley Boys come up short after managerial interference by Stevie Richards. I didn't expect them to. I did not expect them to be happy about it. But this is where we're gonna get to a possible 6-man tag team match at the following pay-per-view, or at Judgment Day, between the Dudley Boys and Right to Censor. Now we're gonna go one-on-one with now we're gonna go one-on-one with Jeff Hardy against Perry Saturn. Some feuds are going to kick off on SmackDown. Some feuds are going to kick off on SmackDown. Other feuds are not. Like, this is not going to be one of the feuds that kick off on SmackDown. But, I don't know if you saw me book it, but Kurt Angle versus Chris Jericho will kick off on SmackDown, as will the APA versus Edge and Christian. That will not kick off right now. It will start. I'm going to try and shoot for the build that they did with it in real life. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it, but I'm going to try and shoot for the build that they had in real life. Guess we can go another match, and then I'm going to shoot with a backstage segment. I just realized Rikishi and Haku are supposed to be a tag team. So I'm going to make him a tag team. I'm going to make him a tag team because it would add to a good reason to keep Rikishi heel. And I also wanted to add this. The Undertaker, Kane, backstage segment where they're talking about Hunter and Big Show. And we do the backstage segment instead of that. And then I think I'm going to do another backstage segment. Who could compete? No, he's competed a lot. He's working. Billy Gunn's going to be on SmackDown. No. Didn't they work the pre-show? Huh. I thought I had him working the pre-show. Oh well. Rhino could work. Oh. That's what I could do. Rhino versus Bob Holly. Who really cares who wins, to be honest? And then I want to do this. Jeff, Lita, Matt, William Regal. Well, actually, William Regal's not in the feud, so he shouldn't have success or failure. And then with this push, let me actually pull back the unscriptedness. Okay, so yeah, that should be good. But let's just look back. Okay, Sean O'Hare and Chuck Palumbo didn't do a pre-show match that week. Okay, so I want to book somebody from WCW in a pre-show match. And this could be like, you know, considered a tryout type thing. You know what? Wait, what? Oh, he was in a pre-show match on SmackDown. Huh. I don't remember doing that. Okay, so he'll be in a pre-show match against Spike. And of course, Jindrak wins. You know, and as I've mentioned before, pre-show matches, holy crap. Holy moly, that was, wow, quite a good match. I'm very surprised. But like I mentioned before, this type of thing, putting guys in the pre-show before they debut, is basically giving them a tryout match, because it's before the show. They're not on TV. They're just seen by the live audience in the Izod Center. And with that being the case, I'm not saying people won't realize they signed the contract. I'm just saying that as many people won't know that they're working for the company. And also, in my opinion, just because they work a pre-show match doesn't mean they have an exclusive contract with the company. Always. It doesn't always mean that. Well, only because I didn't want to end tonight, you know, end the feud tonight. Only because I didn't want to end the feud tonight, I let the feud continue between Hunter and Undertaker, because I wanted to do this tag team match a few weeks ago, but because Kurt was in a feud with what's his name, Benoit, and Kane was just starting his feud with the Big Show going into the pay-per-view, it really didn't warrant a match on that day. So basically this segment centers around the unresolved issues between these four people. Well, I mean, Stephanie doesn't really matter in this segment in particular, but the main event is made, and it revolves around past issues between these four guys. So now we move to the first match, and it's Scotty 2 Hotty versus La Parka versus Jerry Lynn, where the winner goes against Chavo Guerrero for the Cruiserweight title, or Light Heavyweight title, or whatever the fuck the title's called. And what a surprise, Scotty 2 Hotty gets the victory. And now we move backstage, where the WWF champion has arrived at the I don't know why I can't say the name of the arena. The WWF champion has arrived at the Izod Center and will be speaking later tonight inside the ring about his next challenger for the WWF title. As we come back into the arena, the camera pans over. And we see four people walking into the arena. A very familiar face is walking in as Sean O'Hare and Chuck Palumbo are leading the charge, and then Stacy Keibler's coming behind them. She gets a pop because it's Stacy Keibler, and then Diamond Dallas Page comes in right behind them, throws up his hands, and does bang, and gets a pop too. I know. Why do you keep making WCW guys show up north rather than down south? Because they get a bigger pop down south. You're right. But I'm also not looking for them to get a face reaction, because why would you try and push WCW guys as baby faces? Why would you push the Invaders as good guys? You would push the Invaders as bad guys. And once again, Jim Ross plays up the fact, what the hell are these people doing here? They don't work here. What the hell are they doing here? And Paul's like, JR, anybody can buy tickets to the WWF, and it's not like they're getting involved in the product and distracting. You know, they're just like any other special guest we may have. They're like a celebrity in the audience. When we pan over and see the celebrity, it's just like that, JR. You're just mad about the fact that they're distracting us from that, as Paul points to the ring. And JR said, you're damn right, because WWF superstars, because the WWF, you know what? I can't speak for JR, but I know he'd sell it like only JR can. And I don't believe that Paul wouldn't sell it like Paulie could, because Paul and JR are by far, in my opinion, one of the best people or tandems to have on the commentary team right now to sell this. Basically asking, what the fuck is going on? Now we get to the women's division as Lita comes to the ring and faces Jacqueline tonight, as I'm trying to figure out what to do next with the women's division. And now we head backstage as Kurt Angle enters Triple H's locker room and asks Hunter, I know we have had our differences over the years, but I want to know one thing. Can we put those aside and take down The Undertaker and Kane? Can we make it where the Brothers of Destruction get destroyed tonight? Kurt extends his hand. Hunter shakes his hand and says, Kurt, we're done for tonight. But after that, I still hate you. Yes, I know Hunter saying that would tease a babyface turn. And I'm thinking about it because you have Kurt, you have Big Show, you have Triple H, you have Steve Austin, and you have every WCW guy coming in as heels. So I may need an influx of a babyface because, yes, you know, Taker, Kane, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Rock, blah, 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 blah. But it's just the idea that something's missing. You know what I mean? So, you know, with that being the case, I'm not saying he's going to turn, I'm just saying that I'm thinking about it. And now we move forward with the next match as Albert goes up against Al Snow, and Albert gets the victory with a flying leg drop. Oh boy, can you imagine Albert doing a flying leg drop? I'm sure that would make everybody in NXT laugh, seeing their head trainer do a flying leg drop. Well, now we move on to the next segment, with Right to Censor talking up how they finally defeated the APA last night at Backlash, and proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that the right to... Wait a second. Actually, wait. Right to Censor lost. That they proved, even in defeat, that they are stronger in defeat, and that the path that they're on, it doesn't end until the WWE learns what it means to be censored. And now we move to the match tonight, as Right to Censor goes up against the Dudley Boys, and it's the start of the feud between RTC and the Dudleys, as Right to Censor actually gets the win with the help from their manager Ivory. Okay. Help from their manager Ivory. Sorry, my cat's being distracting. Help from the manager Ivory to get the win, and in a way stun the Dudleys. But let me explain. Let me explain something. Supply and Demand lost at the pay-per-view. Supply and Demand lost at WrestleMania. Sorry. Right to Censor lost at WrestleMania. Right to Censor lost at Backlash. Right to Censor needed a win, otherwise it would have made more sense to break them up. So I gave them a win. Yes, it was against the Dudley Boys. Yes, the Dudley Boys lost at the pay-per-view. Yes, the Dudley Boys lost at WrestleMania. But the Dudley Boys also have more momentum and are a more credible team in the eyes of the WWE audience than Right to Censor. Because to this point, I don't think there is a feud that Right to Censor has won. Because the feud with Jerry Lawler ended early. The feud with the APA ended with them on the short end. I'm not really sure when they won or when they were created or how many feuds they've had, but in my opinion, they've lost them all. So, having them start a feud with the Dudleys, even if they're going to lose, they need at least one win, because like the Wyatt family, winning, not winning when it matters, makes them look weak. They're very weak now. That's why they needed the win. Even if it's the dusty finish, still, they needed a win. They didn't need a good win, they didn't need a bad win, they needed a win. Speaking of somebody who needs a win, Jeff Hardy. Because, with the fact that Matt and Jeff lost their last tag team title match against the Edge and Christian, to where they could not challenge for the titles with Edge and Christian as champions. Oh wait, no. I think I just pushed them out of the tag team title picture to get a new team in the tag team title picture, namely the APA, and with that being the case, I decided to have Matt and Jeff join the European title picture to go against Eddie Guerrero. So now, Matt and Jeff are challenging Eddie Guerrero for the European title, so that's why Jeff needed a win. And now we head backstage as Kane and The Undertaker build up the main event, and Undertaker just basically asked Kane, I know you have hardware now. Because if you don't remember, Kane won the hardcore title from Big Show at the pay-per-view, so now Kane is the hardcore champion. He says, Kane, I know you have hardware now, and I know you might be thinking about the Big Show in the back of your mind, but I need you to focus on our match tonight. Are you ready? Kane just nods his head as we head back to the ringside area, and the glass shattering starts, and Steve Austin makes his way out to the ring, and then I'd give this segment to Austin and Benoit, and I let them in the best way possible build up their match at Judgment Day for the WWF title. I know you saw that somebody else is going to be joining the match, because somebody else is going to be joining the match, and that somebody else is Triple H. Triple H is going to be joining the match, but not this week. So, just leave that alone for right now. Because for right now, Austin is looking for a challenger, and he gets it in the face of the Rabid Wolverine, Chris Benoit. I know, I can't talk today. I can't. We move forward with Rhino against Hardcore Holly. For whatever reason, I didn't make it a hardcore match. I don't know. That's a good question. I should have made it a hardcore match, because this could have prompted at least one of them to move forward in the hardcore division. Even though Kane is the hardcore champion, yes, still it could have prompted one of them to move forward in the hardcore division. But either way, Rhino gets the victory. I know, you gotta rebuild Hardcore Holly now, but I mean, Hardcore Crash is not in the picture anymore, because Crash got sent away for his drug problem. See, in this game, you have the opportunity to send people to rehab. Crash, I sent to rehab. So Bob is back to being a singles wrestler, even though at this point, him and Crash were still in a tag team. What does that mean? Well, that means once Crash returns from rehab, he'll go back to teaming with Bob Holly. So now, how Bob is treated as a singles wrestler doesn't really matter, because he's going to go back to teaming with Crash when Crash comes back anyway. And also, 2 wins in a row for a guy in the mid-card that doesn't really matter. Especially if I'm, trying to keep Rhino strong to be hardcore champion. Now we move to the commissioner's office, where the Hardys go in to William Regal's office and basically ask William Regal for a singles title shot. And Lita asks for a women's title shot as well. And William Regal says to Lita, if you want a women's title shot, you gotta win your match next week against Trish Stratus. You have to win your match next week against a challenger of my choice, and you got it. Matt, Jeff, ask for you two. Let me think about it, and I'll get back to you next week. I'm not saying no, but what I am saying is, give me a week, let me think about it, and I'll come back to you with what title that I feel like you are capable to challenge for. And now we move to the main event, with Kurt Angle and Triple H going up against the Brothers of Destruction, and Kurt Angle makes Kane submit after a distraction from the Big Show. Close your eyes and picture this. Kurt Angle and Triple H teaming up against Kane and The Undertaker. The Big Show's running down. The Big Show walks down to the ring. Kane gets distracted by the Big Show. Kurt Angle takes Kane down with a chop block and puts him in the ankle lock, as Undertaker and Triple H are fighting at ringside all over the fucking arena. And with that being the case, Undertaker doesn't see that Kane's in the ankle lock in the ring, submitting. So just picture that. Just picture that's how this match ends. By the way, in '83, pretty good. It lost its popularity in 27 regions. I don't get how this file was made. Because this fucking main event should have given us a 90. This main event should have given us a 90. It should have given us a 90. But because of the fucking backstage rating, and you could say, oh, it wasn't attached to a hot segment, Triple H and The Undertaker were still a feud because I wanted to do this match. That's the only reason why I kept them as a feud, because I know, for whatever reason, this fucking game doesn't let you keep people going in segments. I mean, it discredits a main event if it's not attached to a hot feud for a logical reason, but still, I don't get why this fucking match didn't get rated higher. If any of you in the comment section are experts when it comes to this game, please help me understand what the hell's going on. Why does this game hate me? This database is not that bad, but apparently it is. Because Backlash was the best show ever, because it was the first show since we started this a month ago, in April week 1, or at WrestleMania rather, since we started it at WrestleMania, that we didn't lose popularity, and we only gained popularity. It was the first show since WrestleMania. I mean, it was the first show since we started, as far as I remember. Which is kind of depressing, and it's kind of making me not want to keep going with this as long as I wanted to. Because, I mean, I understand getting pushed back to move forward is sometimes necessary, and doing it the way I want to do it may require that, but I don't want to, because I don't understand what the hell is going on and why I'm losing so much every week. I mean, I guess the fact that I don't have enough enough storylines going on, which is because we're in transition and some of the top storylines have not started yet. But the fact that we lost popularity in 27 regions really bothers me. But either way, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think. Is the game being too hard on me? Do you think we did better than a 72 final rating? And do you think that we should have lost as much fans this week? I mean, as much popularity this week as the game said? If you disagree, let me know down in the comment section. Also, let me know what you think of this series and if I should keep going for as long as I wanted to, and just let things play out and see how they go. Because as always, feedback is more than welcomed and appreciated. But if you don't want to leave a comment, you can always leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. Till next time. Later.